The White House had set the date, July 6th, weeks ago, and has shown no indication of backing down. So right after midnight Washington time, U.S. customs agents stationed at American ports of entry will begin collecting duties on a wide range of Chinese goods, a list that covers more than 800 categories: farming equipment, industrial machinery, medical devices, and some car and airplane parts. Together, they're worth some $34 billion. U.S. President Donald Trump insists the tariffs are necessary to level the playing field. He says China's trade surplus with the U.S., which stood at $375 billion last year, is unsustainable and unfair to the American worker. Trump has also accused China of stealing American intellectual property and says the tariffs are in part a response to that. Major American companies and organizations have urged the administration to reconsider. The head of the U.S. Chamber of Commerce has warned that ultimately it'll be the American worker, American businesses, and American consumers that will suffer in a trade war. He said tariffs are simply taxes that raise prices for everyone. An estimated 99% of the items being taxed are supply chain goods, meaning parts that go into a bigger product, often one made and ultimately sold in the U.S. These new tariffs are on top of the ones the Trump administration slapped earlier this year on metal imports, not just from China, but from several of Washington's Western trading partners. And the retaliation has already begun. Mexico on Thursday introduced the second part of its tariffs package on $3 billion worth of U.S. goods, most of them agricultural products. And earlier this week, Canada slapped its own duties on $13 billion worth of U.S. imports. The EU has already approved a tariffs package on $3 billion worth of U.S. goods. It's due to go into effect later this month, but Brussels is now threatening to tax more American goods worth $300 billion. That's if President Trump moves forward with the plan to tax European cars. At this rate, if this conflict escalates into a full trade war, it'll likely be one fought on multiple fronts. Roe Ruttenberg, CGTN in Washington.